Good afternoon, and thank you for taking the time to look at a video that will tell you a little bit about Terranova. This footage was made by a drone by the Woodward group of Andy Morris, Spike Dietz, and George Dietz last year when we ended up taking a trip to Terranova. The purpose is we're hoping that you can get a little better idea of what we work with when we're at Terranova. Right now, you're looking at the building on the right is the newest building, which we are going to be dedicating this summer. That's the library. The building next to it is the newest computer center. And you're now looking at your left. These are classroom buildings. As we continue to scan in the far left, middle of the screen, you see the newest addition, which the kids like, which is the shower bathroom area. So they actually now have flush toilets, which you might think is humorous, but over there it's a huge thing. It actually helps with the fact that we have flush toilets, showers, and the ability to wash hands cuts dysentery quite a bit. Behind the classroom buildings you just looked at, you see another newest version of classroom buildings. A lot of your money that you donate for the out of uniform days has helped to pay for these buildings. In the distance, you're going to see this a little more up close as we head towards it. These are the original classroom buildings. I want you to notice a couple of things. Notice how green and how clean this school is. You see the children out there are excited. They see the drone coming, which they've never seen before. But I want you to look at and see how much pride these people take in their school. One of the things we're doing this year is we're having Earth Day, which is every day, in conjunction with the Terranova project. Some of your monies that you donate are going to be used to help prevent poaching and educate children in the lower Zambezi area. So you're now getting a chance to look at, you see where the flagpole is, but we're going to turn and get a nice view of the courtyard. We used to show movies at night in this courtyard by taking a large sheet and projecting on there. But the interesting thing is, aside from cutting the grass, the students are all responsible for watering and maintaining the gardens. And notice, unlike Woodward Academy, not a spot of trash anywhere on the campus. The other thing you should notice too is that when we go with our Earth Day theme, it is incredibly green because we're able to plant grass and so forth. Some of the government schools, the problem is they don't have the water. They have a tremendous amount of dirt because they have the wet and the dry seasons. I'm going to send you a couple of photos to share through homeroom and you'll see the difference. But you have two seasons in Zambia, the wet and the dry season. In the dry season, obviously no rain. The wet season, rain all the time. So if you don't have the grass, you have mud, which ends up getting trampled and displaced to the point where even if you do have rain, you are not able to grow anything because you don't have the topsoil. Look at how nicely maintained their courtyard is. All right, this view gives you a nice overview. The building that is to the right, about the middle of your screen, was the very first building that Woodward built for these people, and that was the first library. Here you get a chance to see some of the faculty houses. You can see what it's like without rain. You see all the dirt. And notice that the people cook with firewood. And you'll also notice that in the yard they have corn cribs. People here have to pretty much grow what they eat. And so you're looking at faculty housing right here. As we go back into another look at the school, pretty much all the buildings aside from the U-shape Woodward has helped to construct for these kids. These are all classroom, computer labs, and library, new library. And you can see the difference in the area where the scrub is pretty much barren as it is the dry season. Off to your left, we just passed another group of faculty housing right in the upper left-hand corner. some more faculty houses. Typically 2 teachers live per house. You have a nice shot of the Terranova school to date. Again, you see the unpainted building is the new library, which is going to be dedicated this summer. And here you have a final view of the school before we head to another area of the farm. By comparison, if you were to go to a government school, there is one that's about 5 miles away from Terranova, and it has 650 students and 8 teachers. So think about that. That's if we were to take every single student in the middle school, add another 100 kids, get rid of most of the teachers, and just keep 8. That would be what you have for the government schools. The Terranova school is quite different, obviously. They tend to have 1 teacher for about 20 to 25 students, which sounds like a lot, but it's not 80 students like in the government school. And the government school, they have no pencils, no paper, no pens, no chalk for the teachers, and they have no books. One of the things that we'll ask is at the end of the year when you clean your locker out, if you are going to be getting rid of a lot of things and not using them, but just notebooks that you have and that you're not using anymore, we'd like to repurpose those. Same thing with pencils and pens. Anything that you have that you don't want to use, we'll be happy to take over and let the kids in Zambia use them, both at the Terranova school and at the government school. Okay, now you're going to have a chance to see the inside of the bathroom area. So this is newly constructed. It's a little over a year old and something they're incredibly proud of. This is the shower bathroom area that is in the dormitories. So they have 2 places on campus now where they actually have, there you see it, a actual flush toilet, as opposed to what they have called a long drop. If you've ever been to an outhouse, before the toilets, they had the long drop. And the outhouse basically is a little hut. You saw one, but you didn't recognize it. It's a cement slab floor with a hole in the floor and nothing else in there. And you could say, well, what do? You aim. And you hope that people before you were pretty good at aiming. Again, here are the sinks. Believe it or not, something as simple as soap and water cuts the amount of disease in Zambia quite a bit. So these are the new showers and new bathrooms that the students have access to. And there is obviously a girls' side and a men's side. Now you get a good look at a dormitory. One of the things that we're hoping to raise money for in this year's fundraiser is to build a smaller dorm for kids who are in the lower grade area, anywhere from like grade 3 through 6. But you're looking at the upper grade dorms, and you can notice how efficient everything is. There's not a lot of privacy in the dorms, but you're going to see you have a mattress that is on top of a kind of a cement bed, and that will open up and give you a storage area. Notice the mosquito netting that is above all of the mattresses, so when it is mosquito season, in the rainy season, everybody is under the mosquito netting so that they can prevent themselves from getting malaria. So you have kids playing chess, you have kids talking, you have kids doing pretty much what kids all over do, and that's just being kids and hanging out. You're probably a little bit surprised to see the kids wearing uniforms, but they do. A lot of the uniforms for the younger children are actually made by the faculty. There are a couple of times they'll have faculty will take a year off from teaching and will just do nothing but make uniforms. The gentleman you just saw right here to your left is Mr. Matumwanu, and he is the principal of the Terranova School. Alright, the final part of the video, what you'll notice is a couple of things. The truck, which is going to zoom in a minute, has anywhere from 18 or so suitcases, all of them filled with 50 pounds worth of donated books and materials and clothes and medicine, aspirin, antibiotics, and so forth that we take over. So we try to take over about 1,000 pounds of items. So you get to see kids actually being kids again. And here they are trying to catch and see the drone. They've never seen one before. So anything new is fascinating for them. You can see some Woodward students playing with the kids. As we have a little bit of downtime from what we do when we go over. We actually do a lot of work. Here you see a good shot of all the suitcases of items that contain science equipment, teaching equipment, books, medicines, hats, gloves, you name it. But actually probably pretty close to about 1,400 pounds worth of materials. And there you can see the drone shadow and Mr. Morris catching it.